This man, Louis van Aan, I'm sorry, I lost my voice, not the best moment. He invented this CAPTCHA, and this nearly unreadable code is entered by everyone, nearly everyone on the internet, preventing somebody else receiving spam in their mailbox. Most people don't know that those nearly unreadable words come from very old manuscripts, and by entering those words, you're helping to digitize 2.5 million books on a yearly basis. And I think this is a great example of innovation. And VR, blockchain, augmented reality, I think that AI will be the real deal. And the World Economic Forum pointed out that robots will displace a lot of jobs globally, but they probably will create twice the amount of new jobs. But those jobs will be very different, requiring very special skills. And unfortunately, our educational system isn't really addressing those skills, like complex problem solving and critical thinking and empathy. And then we have these global issues: climate action, refugees. We are all confronted with those issues on a daily basis in magazines and newspapers, etc., and still we know so little about it. But youth is concerned about those issues. This picture was taken last week in Brussels. Now, this quote changed my mindset. It's from Jean Leif, and she states that teaching is neither necessary nor sufficient to produce learning. And she wants to say two things, very important. We have to focus on learning rather than teaching, okay? And second, students are able to learn in very different ways, even without a teacher. But how? I launched several global educational projects during the past years, and I'd like to showcase one of those, the Climate Action Project, in which 500 different schools across the world focused on this one topic, but they all did it very differently. All I ask the teachers is allow your students to do the work. Allow them to brainstorm, create, share, present, and share the video they created on a weekly basis. And this way, the students learned from each other, from their global peers. This project involved students from 6 to 21 and was introduced in every subject. Irish schools were closed for the very first time in history during this project, and these students in Sierra Leone, 2 of them died during the project because of mud flows. But they all created a video. And what was key during the project is that the students took a look at each other's video, and those videos really left deep impressions, as you can imagine. But the students also use technology in a very meaningful way. They used VR in the classroom to visualize stuff, to bring the world in the classroom, but they also created an eco-friendly world in Minecraft. The interesting thing is that the teachers didn't know how to use Minecraft. That's the first taboo, you know? Teachers not knowing stuff. You have to leave your comfort zone in order to start using a tool which you don't know how to use, okay? We Skyped in experts from Discovery Channel. Schools from Indonesia teamed up with industry. They came up with eco bricks, which made learning more authentic. And this American teacher, Tara, she discovered that her students basically believe everything was on the internet. So she dedicated this climate action project to tackling fake news. But we want more than students memorizing stuff, studying stuff, assessment. We want students to be problem solvers. Those students in Canada, 14 years old, they 3D printed coral reefs. We had students from India who created their own solar-powered go-kart and biodegradable plastics. These students in Malawi had a Skype call with American students, and they explained that they have too little water to grow plants. So the students in America, these are 10 years old, came up with aquaponics, which allowed the students from Malawi to grow plants with 70% less water. They both went to Oxford University and showcased their project. Students went to the Prime Minister of Sweden, and they went on a march. They took action. And students were engaged. These students from Egypt, they came to school during 4 weeks of summer holidays, just to be part of the project. Back to Belgium. I teach in a distance learning project, and we are using a web conferencing tool. And this approach has a lot of benefits, but I ask my students to drop their questions in the chat rather than asking using the microphone due to technological issues. What I discovered is that students really love to solve each other's questions in the chat box, and especially the shy students. The shy students had a larger sense of belonging thanks to that chat box. But also I noticed that many of those questions returned very often, very frequently, and so I created my own chatbot. Okay? This chatbot is available 24/7, and I have more time to guide my students, to mentor them. But the thing is, this chatbot wouldn't make any sense in my son's classroom, who's 7 years old. He learns to write. A chatbot wouldn't make any sense. Education is custom. There's no holy grail. Every age, topic, and school requires a different approach. A personal assistant may be interesting, though. Okay? But what we have to do is searching for the right balance. Most teachers start using technology and then they try to match with content. What they should do instead is focus on the content and match to the right pedagogy, and then try to find the right tool. And a teacher is a pedagogical engineer who needs to apply the best learning approach to a specific situation. Sometimes teachers do have to teach to offer the right context and background, but sometimes you have to shift to other learning approaches like collaborative learning, flipped learning, learning by doing, etc. Who has heard of Bridge Academies in Africa? Okay, so Bridge is really well funded by Gates and Zuckerberg. And what they do is offering the teacher a tablet with a script which doesn't really allow students to interact, to ask questions. They fail in their pedagogy, you know. They just match the right technology to content. What I did is bringing education to a refugee camp in Kenya. The Kakuma refugee camp has 200,000 refugees, and I started to teach them using Skype. I shipped my own laptop to the refugee camp. We made a solar suitcase which provides schools with electricity. We now have 350 teachers from 90 different countries offering free education every week, 3 times to very different schools in the Kakuma refugee camp. Innovation, no fancy tablets, okay? What is our innovation in this project? Skype, a very simple, free tool. Passion from students, a network, collaboration, you know, that's our innovation. So, as a wrap-up, right now I'm working on innovation labs in 21 different countries, so we're ready to scale up. But anyways, my point is that the teacher isn't the only source of information anymore in classrooms. Technology allows students to collaborate even on a global scale, but also to Skype in experts, etc. But pedagogy is key, and there's no app for pedagogy. Thank you.